What is up, everybody? Welcome. Today we are going to be going through a 2026 NBA mock draft, and it'll be more of a predictive mock, not necessarily a what I would do. So let's get into it. First overall, Washington Wizards. Personally, I would take Darren Peterson. I think he's probably going to be the best player in this draft. I could see anybody. Could be AJ Advanza, Boozer, Wilson, but my money would be on Darren Peterson, and I could be very wrong. But I think that the Wizards are going to go with AJ Debinca. If they stay at number one, they could trade back, but I think they're going to go with AJ Debinca if that's what happens. And then the Utah Jazz, I think we go with Darren Peterson in that situation. Not a lot to think about here. Point guard, shooting guard. He's not the greatest playmaker, but he was in high school. He was pretty good, but we'll see how that develops in the NBA. Number three, another thing I think with this draft is a lot of players are getting overthought. Example of that is being Cameron Boozer. He's great. He can be a playmaker for you, a scorer, a defender. Maybe not the best defender at the NBA level with that athleticism, but I think he'll be solid either way. So we're going to go ahead and take Cameron Boozer third to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Bulls at four-player draft, pretty simple here. I think they go Caleb Wilson. I think Caleb Wilson has a huge upside. I think this is going to be a great pick for anybody in the top four. I don't see a world where he gets taken before anybody of those top three. And now the draft really starts to be interesting here with the fifth pick in the Clippers. Rumors right now are saying Wagler. I don't know how well that fits. Acuff, I like Acuff. I know the defensive questions are there, but I think he has the mentality. He's got the offensive capabilities. I know you are worried about the defense, but that's something that could be an effort issue. We'll have to wait and see at the NBA level. Kingston Flemings, who's actually measured smaller than Acuff, which was a little surprising to me. Ament, no way. Mikel Brown could be in question here. Really, there's a few players I think they could go, but I think Wagler is who they will go with. So that's what we're going to go with here. Brooklyn doesn't have their first round pick next year. So really, they want to try and be competitive this year, but also they just need a guy. And I think the guy who really gives you this guy can be a franchise star is Darius Cup. I know that's might be a hot take because of all the questions around his defensive abilities. But I think one of the guys, he's another one of those guys who's being overthought in this draft process, and I'm going to go ahead and take Darius Cuff to Brooklyn at 6. Sacramento is probably upset that he just went because I think he would be a good fit there. Not defensively, that team would be the worst defensive team in the NBA, maybe of all time. But with the seventh pick now, Sacramento has a choice. They can go Flemings. Mikel Brown, I think, would be a good fit. Ade Mara, pair him and make a nice young, because Sabonis isn't going to be here forever. And even then, completely different play style. I think I'm a fan of Mikel Brown at this spot here. Sacramento, good shooter. Can be a good shooter. He has the form. He looks good in college, but he projects to be good at shooting in the NBA level. And playmaking is all right. I like the upside with Mikel Brown, and I think that's a player the Sacramento Kings could use. Interesting pick here with Atlanta, but really you can go it's flip between Flemings and Mara for me. And really, I think Mara gives you a higher upside than Flemings, but also is just more valuable as well. So I think that would be the pick. I really like Mara, but I think he is getting raised a little too high up on boards. I've seen somebody say he was the best player in the draft just yesterday, but I like Mara. All right, Dallas here with the ninth pick. Dallas is interesting because they could go anywhere. I could see them being a team that likes Braden Burries. I could see them being a team that likes Axel Lendenberg, Heinz Steinbach, LeBaron Philon, Chris Sanak. But I do ultimately think Kingston Flemings is the pick. Pair him with Kyrie Irving. Give him maybe he seems to me like a third option to me when at his peak. And I think Cooper Flag is a future MVP in this league. So like Kingston Flemings alongside him could be a very good pairing in the future. Interesting pick here with Milwaukee. Now, obviously, if you think Giannis is staying, I think it's Lendenberg, in my opinion. But you need to build some hope for the Milwaukee Bucks fan base because more than likely Giannis is gone. And I don't think taking Nate Ament, I've seen some rumors about that, is a good pick. Braden Burries, I wouldn't hate it. Kareem Lopez, kind of in the same deal with Nate Ament. I don't think that would be a good pick. Lendenberg, you're shooting for upside here as well. I know I contradict that with not saying Ament and Lopez. I just don't think Lendenberg is a win now player. Let me rephrase that. Lendenberg is more of a win now player, and I think the Bucks need somebody who can build with the team, but not also be too far away. And I think LeBaron Philon fits that mold. I think he can play alongside Ryan Rollins pretty well, who's a good shooter last year, and then ultimately build with this team, but not be too far away to where they're going to be horrible next year and give away the first overall pick in next year's draft. Now, the Golden State Warriors, full transparency, I'm a Warriors fan. This team needs to win right now, but I do think they should make a selection here, and it's an easy pick for me. Yaxel Lendenberg comes in immediately, can help you out. He's a wing, can defend, can score, can pass. Just a good player, and I think he helps you win right away, especially with Steph Curry on his way out. You want to try and capitalize on what you have left. Oklahoma City here, I think, is in a unique situation where they can go young player with upside, or they can go player that wins now. But ultimately, I think Braden Burries is just too good of a player here to pass up. I really like him, but I could also see them going with like Ament down the board here, but I think we'll probably go higher than what this is saying. It's Dalen Swain, Morris Johnson, Alan Graves, Abuka Corey. One of those guys could easily be lottery picks. But with this pick, I think Braden Burries goes here because there could be some moves made this offseason. How long will Isaiah Joe be here? How long will Aaron Wiggins be here? Those guys. And J-Dub has had some injury issues, and I think Braden Burries can help relieve some of those secondary responsibilities. Miami Heat, in my opinion, the Heat either need to go all in on Giannis or they need to go into a rebuild. But that being said, I am a fan of them taking somebody like an Alan Graves or an Abuka Akori, especially an Abuka Akori. I think he can be a guy who can score at the rim, really good getting to the rim. He's small, but I mean, Zier's not actually here. But you look at this team, it doesn't have a lead guard. I think Abuka Akori can really be that guy for you. And this team has the infrastructure around where that defense and that size could not as big of an issue. So I think I'm going to go with that here at pick 13. All right, now they need a big man here in Charlotte. Who is that big man? Could be Heinz Steinbach, Chris Sanak, Jaden Quaidant, uh, Morris Johnson could be a nice fit. I'm gonna go Heinz Steinbach. Personally, I think he good defender, can pass. Obviously, Charlotte needs a big man to really complete that lineup. I know this is another team I think should be all in on Giannis, but for here, this will take Heinz Steinbach. Don't know a ton going out of the lottery, so if these takes do get a little off track, we will reel back in. But let's go 15 with Chicago, another team that I think should go big man here. Chris Sanak. I think they're gonna go Jaden Quaidance, so I think he watched some of him last season. I think he upside is incredible. Dealt with some injuries, you're definitely taking a risk here, but I think the risk is worth at the 15th overall pick. And that's what we're gonna go ahead and do here with Chicago. All right, now we got Memphis on the clock here at 16, and I think this is kind of easy for me. I think Nate Ament is a Memphis Grizzly, but they are a very analytical based team, and Alan Graves is still here. Get that front court duo with him and Cameron Boozer. I kind of myself into that. I think that's what we're going to do here with Alan Graves and Cam Boozer. Alan Graves might go back to school. That might already be out when this is uploaded, but for right now, I think Alan Graves and Cam Boozer is a good first round duo for Memphis. All right, on the clock now is the Thunder again with the 76ers pick. And I think they're going to swing for upside, take Nate Ament. Could project to be a good upside. I'm not efficient at all. 6'10", can't finish. He plays like a guard. He was got a huge growth spurt in high school, and I think he's adjusting. Put him in Oklahoma City with that player development. I think you could be looking at a steal, but I just not a guy who I'm comfortable taking super early in the lottery either. So Nate Ament here at 17 makes a lot of sense to me. Charlotte at 18. Now they already got a big man. Could they take another one, Chris Snack, and just really hammer home that, or could they get some man like Christian Anderson, Isaiah Evans, Bennett Sturts, Cam Carr? I'm kind of a fan of Cam Carr, Dalen Swain with this pick. Ultimately, I think Wayne is more analytics. Swain is probably the better pick. Cam Carr has the better measurables. I'm gonna lean towards with the analytics here, and we're gonna go Swain. I think he's a good player, and I think he will fit well in Charlotte. Maybe off the bench, maybe eventually is part of a trade to Milwaukee, but we're not gonna project any trades in here. Toronto at pick 19. Toronto, one of those teams where I don't know a ton about. Well, let me rephrase. I know about Toronto. I don't know a ton like in depth about this team, like where their players are at and stuff like that. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. But I do think a guy like Kareem Lopez can make a lot of sense for them, or Chris Sanak to help in that front court. They took Conroy Boyles last year, who's a great defender. Not really anything offensively out of him. Chris Sanak could be another guy who could help offensively and defensively. Obviously, Scotty Barnes is their best player. What do they do with Brandon Ingram? What do they do with Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett? Keep building around that core? I don't know, but I think I'm going to go with Chris Snack here to Toronto. All right. San Antonio on the clock right now. They are in the conference finals. Really don't have a ton of needs. You think they probably wanted another big man because backup Wemby, but Cam Carr makes a lot of sense. Morris Johnson makes a lot of sense here. But I think we're gonna go Kareem Lopez, help him develop, maybe take over that Harrison Barnes role eventually. Yeah, fan of that selection. All right, Detroit is on the clock here. Detroit needs to help Cade at the end of the day. That's all it is. Hopefully this season they what do they do with Jalen Duren? But somebody needs to help Cade in the playoffs. Is that the guy you're gonna get here at 21? I don't think so. But that's my Pistons take. Is it's Cade and that man needs some help. But Christian Anderson could be a solid pick here, come off the bench, be a six man for you. Isaiah Evans, maybe a little too high for Evans. Sturts, Cam Carr. I think it's gonna be Cameron Carr here. He kind of culture defensively with the size. Not great offensive player. Cam Carr could also be another guy who goes back to college, so we'll have to wait and see. But I think I like the fit here. Average 19 points, could be a good scorer off the bench, could eventually help them with the Asar Thompson not being able to play offense really well. They just leave him wide open. This year, this is a team I think they go in a lot of directions. Obviously, they have Maxey and Edgecombe, I think, as their future. They still have Embiid. Whatever you get out of Embiid is great. You could just hope he's healthy by the time the playoffs roll around. He had a good playoff run this year until, caught up with them health wise. Paul George, be the Paul George we saw later in the year for the whole season because that this team a playoff team right away, in my opinion. So I think you're looking at a guy like Morez Johnson here because really he's a big man who can help with your Joel Embiid minutes to try and help him stay healthy, and he can be just a guy who maybe develops and takes over for Joel Embiid with that age. All right, on the clock here we have the Hawks again. They went with a Daymar at 8. Here 23. I'm a fan of taking Christian Anderson. Get yourself a point guard. We don't know what they're going to do with CJ McCollum in free agency. So I think they should bring him back. But if they don't, they have a big hole there at guard. And either way, they need to get another guard in the building. So Christian Anderson is who I'm going to go with here. On the clock here is the Knicks, who look like they're about to go to their first NBA Finals since 1999. Shout out the Knicks. Really could go anywhere here. I think I'm going to go with Amari Allen out of Alabama, another analytical guy. I'm a fan of Amari Allen. I think he fits well here. So we're going to go ahead and go take him to go to New York. The Lakers need to take a big man. I'm a big fan of LeBron. Don't hide it, but he cannot be playing 38 minutes and be your best player in a playoff series anymore. I get it with injuries. Austin Reeves has to be better. They're probably gonna bring him back, but overall he struggled in the playoffs in my opinion. Hachimura, another guy they had to bring back. Will they get priced out on him? I don't know. But you need a big man, and there's Krivas here. The Tyler Tanner could be a guy. He's low, so I don't see them doing that. So I think you're gonna go ahead and go with Basar out of North Carolina. Just get a big man in the building, other than DeAndre Ayton, because DeAndre Ayton cannot play defense at the level you need him to. He's not the big man you're looking for, especially to compete in the West. Denver, Denver's in a spot. I could see this pick being traded. Really, their needs don't have like a ton of specific needs, other than like they just need to be better defensively. So when you think of defenders left here, Dame Sar, ton of but I think Yez might be a guy like that. Um, Sergio Delaria, I'm not sure how good he is as a defender, but I'm a fan. I think we're gonna go with Yesufu here. He might have gone back to school off the top of my head. This could be checked, but I'm a fan of Yesufu here, going to the Nuggets at 26. The Celtics got a different directions. Could Jaylen Brown be traded? Um, I like here. He fits what they want to do shooting wise, and just another guy, another guard. I know they have a lot of players who come out of this year in terms of coming off the bench, but I really like Isaiah Evans here to fit with the Boston Celtics. Here we are at Minnesota. Minnesota needs a point guard, and I think Bennett starts this year. I think they should take him. You see the best? Tyler Tanner, a guy who a lot of people are a fan of. I just don't think with that size it's going to work at the level it needs to. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I think Bennett starts as the guy they should go with here to help with that point guard role in Minnesota. Cleveland's on the clock here. All right, Cleveland is in an interesting scenario because will James Harden James Harden next year because I think he'll come back with that player option, but he could be gone. Does LeBron come here in free agency? What do you do with Donovan Mitchell? Because I don't think he's going to resign there. I would be looking to move Donovan Mitchell personally. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Do you move Jared Allen? Evan Mobley's probably safe unless you think about using him in a Giannis trade. But to me, really go any direction here. I'm gonna go Koa Pete. I think he's slid far enough down the board. I think he's just got one of those guys who's probably got the most upside available. Probably picked the wrong sport to play, but we're gonna go ahead and go with Koa Pete here at 29. All right, and the last pick of the first round, Dallas can go pretty much any direction here. We went Flemings at 9. So I think I'm gonna go with a guy who projects to be a really good shooter. Wasn't very consistent at times, but I'm gonna go with Alex Caravan here at Dallas at pick 30. I think he projects well to be a shooter. Klay Thompson's on that team. Could he learn a couple things from him? We know Klay Thompson is quite a bit since his prime, but he still is a solid shooter at the end of the day. But all right, that is the first round. Let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and like and subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.